Thanks to the support as a channel member, Ant Hall. You know I hate bowing to pressure from the comments section. I realise it's bad that they've started calling you as well now, but I really like him. Connor Roberts is the best attacking midfielder at the club by star rating. Okay, I'll drop him for a bit. Hello and welcome to part 88 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Championship. We're at home against both Watford and Blackburn. Since you were last with me, we've had some pretty solid form. Just the one defeat in there against Forest. We did get absolutely smashed by them. It's such a weird blip in this run of excellent form that we've been on. We did get knocked out of the FA Cup as well by Newcastle. But that has left us looking like this. 29 games played, and we're third in the league, 1 point off top of the league with a game in hand. And we play that game in hand now, although the game in hand is against the team down in fifth place, Watford, who could just about catch us with a victory. I mean, this is Kev maths. It's extreme. They're 5 points behind. They can't catch us at all, but they can get closer to catching us if they win the game. We've also had a transfer window since you were last with me, and there has been some business. Firstly, on the way out of the club, the big news, along with a couple of loans and some fringe players leaving, is we sold Luke Camilleri. We got an offer of £4.3 million for a player who only had championship potential. He's 20 years old now. I think he was our 9th choice central midfielder at the club. He'd only played 7 games for us this season. He'd only played like 15 games for us total. It just seemed like too much money to turn down when it gave us then the opportunity to reinvest some money in January and hopefully bring in the players who could make the difference to send us to the Premier League. One of the other reasons we sold him is because we'd already brought in yet another central midfielder, having already brought in Pinto earlier in the year and Grucock. What was his name? Is it Grucock? Grucock. How do I forget the word cock? Grucock earlier in the previous season. We've also brought in Darren Collier, who's an England under-19 international, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. We've brought him in mainly because he can play defensive midfield as well. And we want to have a defensive midfield option, not even necessarily for this season, but if we are going to get promoted this year, we can't go into the Premier League without a defensive midfielder, surely. So we're starting to plan for the future. And this guy looks like he's going to be a very, very good defensive midfielder. He's already close to being the best at the club. He's another one of the Premier League future potential club. He's from Fulham, was on loan at Wrexham, and we've just thrown £2.6 million at him and already given him his debut. He looks like a decent player. And we've also added another player to the goalkeeper production line, Stephen Griffin, at age 17. He's another one who's coming from Liverpool, 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. His potential ability is right up there with Jack Green and Tristan McDonald. Jack Green, by the way, I don't miss Alex Williams at all now. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but Jack Green is getting better and better all the time. He's been making some excellent saves. He, of course, came from Liverpool this time last year. So looks like there's 2 goalkeeper factories in England, Liverpool and home, and we're trying to steal all the Liverpool ones as well. And then lastly, we've brought in a defender, Jorn, or would it be Jörn with the little crossed out O thing, which probably has a fancier name than that. Jorn Andersen, who is a Norwegian under-19 international centre-back who can also play right-back. 3-star current ability already, 5-star potential ability. Apparently he's going to be a Premier League right-back in the future, so potentially solves the right-back problem we don't really have. But really, I've brought him in as another option at centre-back. We had a couple of games where we were having to play Raphael Irving at centre-back because I think Davies was suspended. We got an injury to Lay. And yeah, we were pretty light at centre-backs. Keita was away on international duty. So we needed another centre-back. So Jorn Andersen is in. He's still not a wonder kid. I know a lot of people keep telling me, this screen looks different to how it normally looks. What has gone on here? Oh, well, there you go. That's the screen we're normally on. A lot of people keep saying, Kev, why don't you go and buy European Wonder Kids? Because we're home. Because we have a 3-star reputation, none of them will come to us. This is the closest we've ever got. A 3-star current ability, 5-star potential player from Norway. We're getting there. We can't get the Wonder Kids yet, But at least we're not just getting League One youngsters anymore. We've got Jorn Anderson in, and it's lovely. And yeah, I think that was a very successful January. The other thing we've done, he's thrown £5 million at the youth setup again. I think in the last 3 years, we've invested £15 million in the youth setup and another £5 million in the training facilities. I know we're always skint and Mrs Wearmouth's always bailing us out, but realistically, her £5 million bailouts every summer are actually just paying for all of the new facilities. So the club is kind of self-financing, and then she's constantly buying new facilities for us, which is why our youth quality is getting better and better and better. We're now up to exceptional academy coaching, exceptional youth recruitment, excellent youth facilities, which they are going to be further upgraded by the summer. Superb training facilities. When we eventually get the new ground, the corporate will go up. And yeah, off the pitch, this club is in very, very, very good shape. On the pitch, not too shabby either, as we find ourselves third in the Championship. And this is the team that we're going to send out there for this game against Watford to hopefully put us back to the top of the league. We're going with Green in goal. And this is our new look team, by the way. We've adjusted some of the instructions again. We've finally started playing Kieran Hodgkinson as an attacking midfielder after all these years. He's had a little bit of a run playing as an attacking midfielder. Now you can see, I mean, yeah, okay. When the AI picks him for a friendly, he still plays as a deep line playmaker, but I've been playing him. You can see I used him as a complete forward for a while, tried him as a Mazzala. I think I'd actually switched to a 4-3-3 briefly there. That was when our defenders were all injured. So we ended up playing with Akani as a holding midfielder and Hodgkinson as a Mazzala, and that's what made me think he's good going forward from midfield. Let's play him as an attacking midfielder, and he's actually pretty decent in there, which is why Connor Roberts is now having a short spell out of the team while he decides what he wants to be when he grows up. But yeah, the new look team is Green in goal, a back four of Francis, Davies, Barr and Curry, Lay and Akani in midfield. Akani now playing as a Mazzala in there because it worked so well when Hodgkinson did it, and Akani stepped in and is doing it very well as well. And then Richards, Hodgkinson and Renan, that is a Premier League quality three, I think. They're probably our three best players on current ability at the moment. Although Richards has dropped back down to 3-star. He was up to 3.5-star current ability briefly. But Renan is up there at 3.5. I think Hodgkinson's a 4-star. At 4.5, blimey, he's a good player. And then Costabile up front, who I know some of you don't like Costabile, but actually he's in relatively decent goal scoring form. He grabbed a couple of goals in consecutive games earlier in January. He's very much in and out of the team. I still think he's going to be a good player, although it looks like he's declining a little bit at the moment, which is a long way from ideal. Renan has been injured again. He's been very in and out of the side. It's another injury-ravaged season for Renan. He has these from time to time. That year, he really suffered with injury, and it's happening to him again this year, and it does affect his form and affect his output, as you would imagine. But he's fit enough to start today. Won't be able to play the whole game, but Onyango's there to come on if need be. And we've also got new boy Darren Collier on the bench as well to come on in that midfield as and when needs arise. But let's get into this game. Watford, as I say, 5th in the league. We're 3rd, and a win for us puts us top. A win for them gets them a little bit closer to catching us. So really, in the interests of exciting football developments, everyone, neutrals want the home win so we can go top of the league, because it's just fun seeing us top of the Championship because we're little old home. And Costabile has got the chance for a counter-attack here. It's some lovely distribution from Jack Green. Just lumps it forward to Costabile, who picks it up on the halfway line, runs at the Watford defence and sticks it into the back of the net. What a piece of counter-attack in football. This all comes from Jack Green in goal for us. Lovely distribution, but Costabile still has 3 defenders and a goalkeeper to deal with. Those of you who don't rate this guy, are we watching this? I can understand the Connor Roberts criticism. He doesn't really produce a lot, especially when the cameras are on. But Costabile scores goals and looks really good. What's he done to upset some of you? Renan playing it into Costabile again, who gets in behind the defence again. And this time the goalkeeper isn't tested as the ball goes a little bit high and wide from the effort from this still 18. Is he still 18 or is he 19 now? I think he's still 18-year-old Costabile up front for us. I think he's going to be a very, very good Premier League striker once he develops a year or two more down the line. And it's certainly not going to do him any harm having these 3 supporting him because, like I say, 3 of the best players at the club. Although I did notice Harrison Davies is actually leading the average rating charts again this year for the first time in many years. Harrison Davies is trying to lead the charge to the Premier League, and just as I'm talking about it, he weighs in with a goal. Our captain, surely edging ever closer to a very deserved knighthood, and grabs his 4th goal of the season, so he's already beaten last season's goal tally as well. Harrison Davies is desperate to be a Premier League footballer. Little does he know that hitting the Premier League will probably spell the end of his time as a regular starter for us, with Lay and Barr, and now the new boy Anderson all in there, and Keita as well, all in there with eyes on his starting spot. But at the moment, Harrison Davies is the man. He's our captain. He's our leader. He's our highest average rated player. And today, he's turned goal scorer again. Francis now with a throw, just as we hit the hour marker. Carney now on the edge of the area, looking for some kind of attacking option, but in the end finds Alec Lay instead, which is an interesting choice. It goes all the way back to Davies, and Davies now playing it over the top for Costabile, controls it nicely, plays it out to Francis. Francis has got the opportunity for the cross here, finds Renan, and the ball goes just over from the header from Renan. Renan, we're going to have to give him 10 more minutes and he has to come off. He was only allowed 75 minutes. Harrison Davies has scored again. I mean, I said he's leading by example at the moment, and he's giving you an example of him leading by example. 2 goals today now for Harrison Davies. This was supposed to be a tight match between 2 playoff contenders, and Harrison Davies has just grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and decided that actually, you know what, we're going back to the top of the league, and not only that, we're fixing this goal difference problem we've got with the other 3 teams who are in the title race, all having a better goal difference than us. And we're going to go and grab some goals today. And I am absolutely all for it. Right, Onyango's come on for Renan. That was the pre-arranged substitution. Richards hasn't played very well today, but we've got no one else who can come on in those wide areas for us. So he's going to have to stay on. What I am going to do is bring on Darren Collier to play in central midfield. I don't think I want to use him as a ball-winning midfielder, though. But like equally, I don't really want to use him as a playmaker in there. So I might actually leave him in there playing that role that Lay was playing. And I mean, he can tackle. He's a defensive midfielder. He's only got 9 for tackling. Okay, maybe he can't tackle. Okay, let's shuffle this around a little bit then. So we'll put him to that, and he can switch up. And you've been asking me forever to use a shadow striker. So we're 3-0 up. Let's try Kieran Hodgkinson as a shadow striker for 20 minutes. I actually don't think it's going to be the best role for him because he's more of a creative force. He's never been a hugely prolific goal scorer, although I think he's scoring at a goal every other game this season. And what a tackle there from Nathan Curry. Nathan Curry, by the way, unless we get promoted, I know I've said this many times. Oh, what a save from Green. This is what I mean about not missing Williams. Green is getting better and better. But getting back to Nathan Curry, I know I've said it many times about him, but I do think this might be the year where we're going to take off Hodgkinson now, where if we don't go up, I think we are done with Nathan Curry. We might be done with him anyway, but Brentford have now said they don't want to loan him to a divisional rival. They've not even got the, if you offer us enough money, we might change our mind. Just a straight no. They want £13 million for us to buy him, and he's on £40,000 a week at Brentford. So we couldn't afford his wages even if he came in. And I do have to wonder if and when we do hit the Premier League, do we even want to spend that much money on a guy who by then will be 26, 27 years old? He's been a fantastic servant for us, but he doesn't get in the team in midfield anymore. I don't see that he would get past a lot of these players in midfield. At right back, we've got lots of other options. I don't know that we necessarily need to spend what will be the bulk of our transfer budget on him when we could go get Alex Williams instead. Well, in fact, I don't know that we need him either. I'm leaning more towards if and when we hit the Premier League, we go out and find some of these wonder kids and spend all the money on them rather than bringing Williams and Curry back in permanently, which was the plan if we'd have gone up 2 years ago. But now, I don't know that we need them. We're top of the league without them. We've got Curry. I don't know that we need him. Well, it seems to happen pretty much every other game, but our match against Blackburn, I think it was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. It happens all the time, which is why we always have a game in hand. So we've actually fallen off the top of the league again because we didn't play. but we now play against Sheffield United, although everyone else is playing as well. So we won't necessarily go back to the top of the league, but we do have that game in hand sat there, which will cash in at some point. Sheffield United are down in 17th place. So I'd like to think it's a game we should be able to win. It's been a little while since the last game. So just the one change, I think, I re-picked the team after picking it previously for the Blackburn game before it was called off. But I think the only change from the last game you saw is Ali Basic is in for Lay. I think he'd had a slight knock before the last game, but he's in to play alongside Akani in midfield. So Akani drops back to being the playmaker again. Hodgkinson reverting back to being an attacking midfielder, and Renan is now fully fit, which is always handy. Someone wants Harrison Davies. Yeah, he's not going there. He's just not going there. That would wreck his chances of a knighthood and a testimonial. And this series ultimately ends in failure if Sir Harrison Davies doesn't have a testimonial at some point. So not only does he need to lead us to the promised land and get himself knighted along the way, he does need to be here into his 30s so he can get that testimonial, because although every player starts their career here aged 18, the only one close to testimonial stage so far is Harrison Davies, and he has to have one. It's the rules. It's the new rules of the save. Renan's in here. That was a lovely pass from Hodgkinson. That's why Hodgkinson is working so well as this attacking midfielder, because he just plays in these beautiful little passes. Someone should have told me down in the comments section at some point to play Hodgkinson in a more attacking role. Can't believe you've let me use him as a deep line playmaker for 8 seasons. I blame you lot entirely. Nathan Curry's picked up a knock, so McCartan can come on at right back. That's a pretty easy swap to make. Richards has really gone off the boil in this second half of the season. I'm a little bit worried about him. I mentioned before how he got up to 3.5-star current ability at one point, but actually he seems to be really struggling in recent games. It might be time to give him a little spell out of the team, maybe put Renan over to the left and get Onyango in on the right, because, like I say, I mean, Richards is only 18. It's his first season in England. Maybe after his explosive start, he does just need a little bit of sitting on the bench, getting used to things, time again, as you would when a player newly comes in. It's rare for me to bring an 18-year-old in, especially from another country, and just start playing them week in, week out straight away, the way we have Ola Richards. But he was so very good early on that he kind of forced my hand into doing it. And that's got to be offside. Jack Green makes the save anyway, because that's what he does. We have a very good goalkeeper again, boys and girls, and I'm very happy about it. Throw now for Sheffield United. And McCartan, is that McCartan out there trying to win the ball back? It might have been Akani, actually, who dropped out to the right back position. We've left a huge gap here on our left-hand side. George Francis needs to wake up and get that covered. He does wake up. He does get it covered. And now Richards, with the chance for the counter-attack, he's got Costabile available ahead of him, and he's won the penalty, surely. I think it is a penalty. Nice little breakaway from Richards. After I criticised him a little bit, he's played very well there. Won us the penalty. And Kieran Hodgkinson with the chance from the penalty to put us 1-0 up, and he does. And I think that's a 14th goal this season now for Kieran Hodgkinson, our top scorer this year. He's an attacking force. Who knew? 1-0 to home. I don't think that puts us back to the top of the league immediately, because I think... oh, no, it does. I thought Reading or Birmingham, someone had gone ahead in their game, but clearly there's been an equaliser. And as it stands, we're top of the league with a game in hand, which is a sensational position to be in at this stage of the season. Akani playing it forward to Costabile, brings it down nicely, plays it across to Hodgkinson. Lovely football again from Costabile. I won't hear that you don't like him. He's brilliant. And Hodgkinson there with the finish. 2-0 up. 2 quick goals from Kieran Hodgkinson. He's on a hat-trick. And this is great centre-forward play again from Costabile. He gets a little bit of luck with the deflection off of the defender, but uses the luck to his advantage, plays it into Hodgkinson, and yeah, like I say, I'm not listening to any criticism of Roberto Costabile. Right, substitutions. Renan has had a really poor game, so Onyango can come on for him. And then I think we're probably going to bring Collier on again in midfield as part of the ongoing push for his development. Get him in there, playing as a box-to-box midfielder alongside Akani in the playmaker role. And this is Collier's, I think probably Collier's best role as a box-to-box midfielder. But I've got a strong feeling about Collier. as the future of our midfield. He's a current starting England under-19 international. He's a very good player, and we want to give him game time. Grucock, who I know a lot of you like because of his name, he's out on loan at Middlesbrough, so is getting championship football now. And I think that future of the midfield could be Collier and Grucock. I know I like Akani, but I don't think Akani's ever massively... Akani's one of those players who just doesn't ever make huge mistakes, so he falls under the radar a little bit, but at the same time, he's not spectacular doing anything either. He's just an efficient little midfield player who I like, but we might end up replacing eventually. I don't know that it's long term. I don't see his future as a Champions League player, that's for sure. McCartan now with the corner, an in-swinger, looking for Harrison Davies, doesn't find him. It's cleared, and Akani's there on the edge of the area to just, like I say, just take hold of the ball, not do anything spectacular with it, but not give it away either. Just tidy little central midfield player, which you need sometimes, especially when you've got all those flair players ahead of him. That's lovely football lovely defending from Collier, and crunching slide tackle. That's something we've missed since Nathan Curry's been out of the midfield. On Yanko's shooting from range, if that goes in, that's ridiculous. It didn't go in, so we don't need to worry about it being ridiculous just yet. But 2-0, can't argue. I mean, we've had two very efficient football matches there. It feels like this is our year. Birmingham did go back ahead in their game to deny us top spot at the end of the episode. But after those two very, very good performances, really, really feels like this is our year. We're going to come back somewhere in fact, Birmingham and Reading, aren't they the two? They are the two. We're going to be back for Birmingham and Reading. So only a few games until we come back for there. But they, in the next episode, are going to be two crucial matches. 2 wins tomorrow, and we're going up as champions, boys and girls. I can taste it. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.